And it is time for something really, really interesting. Flying allows us to visit some amazing destinations thousands of miles away. It also opens up a world of opportunities that wouldn't be otherwise possible. But flying isn't without its issues, as some people are scared and most people find the whole airport experience really stressful. Nobody looks forward to a long flight as they're uncomfortable, boring, and somehow these are the flights when we're inevitably seated next to people we have to tolerate. Airplanes don't hand out etiquette books, but we all know that doesn't mean plain etiquette doesn't exist. So to help make your next trip hassle-free, here are 5 things you should never do on an airplane. Why are we telling you? Because this is Daily Top 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, watch me.
All right, so the first one is don't eat food that has touched your tray. Yuck! That tray table doesn't get sterilized between flights, so unless you brought your own disinfectant or placemat, let that cookie crumb go if it hits the tray and not your plate. By now, every traveler knows, doing the Naomi Campbell, what it means is a seat-to-tray disinfecting routine, which is part of the traveling experience. A parent has likely changed a diaper on it, or a passenger may have thrown up on that surface before, or put their bare feet, and some airlines are actually handing out mini sanitation kits, but you're better off providing your own kits and travel accessories to nip these sanitary stressors in the bud.
Okay, so I think this is for the people who actually eat the plane food. Because me, I just wait, I'll throw everything inside bag. When I've landed, I can answer, okay, let me. But then this actually makes a whole lot of sense because you never know what happens on that tray. By the time you just twist, it comes down, you don't know what they've done. Somebody might have sneezed. Yeah, so I beg.
Please, it just reminded me of when I entered the plane toilet one day and there was somebody had vomited. Please, let's move on. Please. Don't be rude to the cabin crew. Unless your idea of fun is being duct taped to your seat for the duration of your flight, keep your bad behavior to yourself. Legally speaking, federal law prohibits interfering with aircraft crew or physically assaulting or threatening to physically assault aircraft crew or anyone else on an aircraft. So, unless you're willing to risk civil penalties, hefty fines, and imprisonment for misconduct, which can be issued for everything from groping the staff to not wearing a face mask properly after repeated warnings to threatening the safety of the flight and staff. Be on your best what? Behavior.
Yes, we've seen videos of people who were escorted off the plane, and what they did to them was a normal thing, but it was not something good.
Yeah, so let's just try to keep our dirty behaviors in the country that you are living because being thrown off the plane is not cute. You can be banned from flying for a very long time or maybe even permanently, depending on what it is that you did to assault the airline.
And in which country?
Oh, so please.
It's even Nigerians most times fighting about,
Baggage space,
where to put their hand luggage and all that. It can be very, very...
All right, the next one is don't be too loud. As a rule, if you're listening to music, whether it's on a portable speaker, on your phone, or even on your headphones, you should ask yourself, is this loud enough that other people who may not want to hear this can hear this? And if the answer is yes, maybe turn the speaker down. There's nothing more irritating than hearing the dull beat of techno music or an in-flight action movie emanating from another person's headphones. Remove your earbuds to test the volume before cranking it up on your journey. We all also know the urge to celebrate on landing can be overwhelming, but try to resist. Simply put, clapping when you land is a total cringe fest. Just be cool to the other people around you. Don't be the worst.
Nigerians just left a good chat.
But wait, I can disagree with that clapping. Clapping,
like, yes, you're happy. We don't land, we don't touch ground.
Yesterday, I saw footage of people in a plane that they said it was going to crash or something. Hey, Jesus, I repent on my sins.
That's what they have an explanation.
So at least when they land,
you will clap.
All of them. Thank you. But I think on foreign flights is when it can now be bad because everybody's looking and you're like, I'm sorry, excuse me.
Nigerians will never change, I tell you, whether it is foreign flights or...
But that music one, like, somebody might be wanting to sleep on the flight.
Actually.
So if you're listening to music, I use God and beg you.
Yeah.
I beg.
Yeah. When some people rest well is when they're on the flight.
Yeah.
All right, now let's talk about the next one, and that is don't push your way off the plane once the doors are open. Once the doors are finally open, don't try and shove your way to the front. If you have a connecting flight and are in a rush, then explain this is, this to a flight attendant, and they might be able to get you to the front of the plane before everyone else stands up. Otherwise, just let the rest of the passengers file off row by row. I promise you, you won't miss the 5 extra minutes it adds to your trip. I get this.
Just left the group chat.
No, I get that it can be due to anxiety, especially if you have a connecting flight, and then maybe they delayed your flight where you're coming from, and you know that you have calculated, and you know that if you don't rush, you might meet your flight, and then you're looking at the money that you pay again or something like that. Like, it can be very, very, but then calm down. Just tell the flight attendant.
Which is why there's a suggestion, that you can always tell them, because there was this time I traveled, and when it was time to land, a woman was looking for a child. Why? Because it was her turn to come out of her row, and her child was out. She was getting her bags, and people just came from nowhere, and the child was... So she had to call the flight attendants. They had to stop everyone to get the child back to the mother. So it can be a whole lot when everyone just comes from the back and start pushing you. So most times, the best thing to do is just wait your turn. All right, and finally, on our daily top 5 things you do not do on an airplane. Don't sleep during takeoff or landing. People who travel a lot know takeoff or landing is the worst time to doze off, as the change in pressure can affect hearing. The pressure in your ears quickly changes when the plane takes off, and if you fall asleep, it can be much harder to adjust the pressure. Use the time to prep your space to sleep easy, and if you're traveling with little ones, whip out a toy or activity to engage them. When it's time to take off or land, offer a drink or something chewy or suckable sweets to help with the ear pressure. If you're prone to flight-induced headaches, hold off on your snooze until your ears pop.
Yeah, this one is actually very important because you don't want to spend the rest of your flights like having ear problem.
Yeah.
Because of the cabin pressure. So always make sure that you just distract yourself. For people that don't even like takeoff or landing, just distract yourself. I remember my camera guy, Ambrose, shout out to him. First time he was traveling, we had a job in, I think it was Abuja. So he got on the plane. He was like this to your time. Hey! I was like, Ambrose, stop. I know I'm going down. Like, this guy, you are annoying. I think he was doing it to be annoying. But then after some time, like, he got used to it. So now when you say Ambrose is like, we're taking
But taking off, I can never get used to. I don't shout.
Love it.
No, I don't
then
shout.
You sink.
I don't shout.
Yeah.
But guess what? I just distract myself. I can never get used to.
People like that would not be okay in an elevator when it's going up and down.
That is me. That is me. Elevator. I hold people. I am just getting better. Elevator like this, I'm a mess.
How do I bring me shame?
And that is it with today's Daily Top 5.